So today we will start our new chapter, which is basically protoctists and fungi, right? So basically, this is most controversial kingdom of all the system, right? It's the controversial kingdom, right? Basically it comprises of exclusion of eukaryotes, right? It has a lot of type of eukaryotes. For example, eukaryotes which are basically plant like eukaryotes. It has fungi like eukaryotes. It has animal like eukaryotes, right? Animal like, that's why it is considered as a rag bag material, like it is a rag bag material. So before moving ahead, there's a concept of alternation of generation, like there's a concept of alternation of generation. Basically this is a step, like you will learn about this, like heteromorphic, isomorphic, or homomorphic in my next videos, but you should know this concept in order to understand further more concepts, right? Basically in this, for example, consider this as a sporophyte. It will divide and it will form spores by the process of meiosis, and we know that meiosis is basically a reductional phase, like in which the chromosomes actually divide. For example, if a cell is diploid and it has 46 chromosomes, so it after the process of meiosis, it will form 4 cells and they will be haploid, right? So basically it is a reductional phase, right? Meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, right? So after the sporophyte, after the process of meiosis, there will be spores formation. After the spores, gametophyte will be formed. After gametophyte, again sporophyte. This again is due to the process of mitosis, or you can say the binary fusion, right? Or you can say something else too. They can be something basically asexual. So basically alternation of generation is basically a sequence, an alternate sequence of sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, right? It is the alternate sequence of sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction, right? So I hope this is clear to you. Now we will look at similarities between, like as I said, it has a lot of eukaryotes. So one of the eukaryote is alga, right? There is a similarity, there was like we have kingdoms, right? Initially there were 2 kingdoms, plant kingdom and then animal kingdom. Then we came into 5 kingdom classification, which was given by Marguerite and Jones, right? Sorry, it was given by Robert Whittaker. Then Robert Whittaker, in the Robert Whittaker classification, alga was placed in Protoctista. The unicellular alga was placed in the Protoctista, and the multicellular alga was placed in the Plantae. But in Marguerite and Sean's classification, this multicellular alga was placed into Protoctista, right? So let's look at the similarities between plants and alga. So basically both have cell wall, which is made up of cellulose, right? They have photosynthetic material, which is basically chlorophyll, right? They both are autotrophic. So they both are autotrophic. Then there is alternation of generation. Like there will be a sequence of sexual and asexual reproduction. Then there will be sexual reproduction as well as asexual reproduction. So these are basically the similarities between these both. Now let's look into the differences between these two, right? let's look into the differences between this alga and plant. And basically alga is like the location of alga is aquatic. It is aquatic, and this plant is terrestrial. This alga is aquatic and this plant is terrestrial. Then this alga is basically, if we talk about the body organization, it consists of thalamus, by the way. And the plant have a definite structure, for example root, stem, leaves. They have a definite structure, right. And other differences are like these alga can be unicellular as well as the multicellular, right. And this plant is multicellular. If we talk about the fertilization, here the fertilization is water dependent. Like the fertilization is external, and here the obviously fertilization is inside the plant. And here zygote is not retained to embryo. Here the zygote is not retained to embryo, by the way. Here it is retained to embryo, right. If we talk about basically this class, this kingdom Protoctista is a group of polyphyletic organism, right. They are polyphyletic. It poly means many and phyletic means phylogeny. Basically they have many, like they have more than one ancestors. They have a lot of evolutionary relationships, right. So if we talk about the major groups of this kingdom, we have plant like protists, which are, for example, we have green alga, we have brown alga, we have red alga, and etc, right. We have fungi like protist, like for example we have slime molds, right. We have some animal like protist, which are, for example, protozoa and amoeba, right. These are the things. If we talk about the lifestyle of these or of this kingdom, is basically they can be multicellular, they can be unicellular, they can be multicellular, they can be unicellular. They can live in colonial organization. Even they can be cytic. Basically this means that there is only one cell but they are multinucleated. It is not multicellular but it is multinucleated, right. If we talk about the reproduction, they can be asexual reproduction, sexual plus asexual reproduction. If we talk about the locomotion of these organisms, they can do from pseudopodia, which is basically known as amoeboid movement, right. They can do from cilia as well. They can do from flagella as well, this locomotion, right. Now let's talk about their size, right. Basically their size ranges from microscopic to 75 meters, right. Their size ranges from microscopic to 75 meters, right. And if we talk about their nutrition, right, they are autotrophic as well as they are heterotrophic. as well as heterotrophic. And heterotrophic, they are basically absorptive heterotroph as well as ingestive heterotroph. Absorptive heterotroph as well as ingestive heterotroph. Right, so I hope this first lecture of this chapter, protist and fungi, is clear to you. If you have any kind of queries, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll be very glad to answer you guys.